People who have worked at Goodwill or other thrift stores etc. and processed donations. What's the craziest thing you've found? About 10 years ago I worked at a chain thrift store. One morning we got a phone call from this gentleman saying, rather calmly, "I think I accidentally donated my mom." Naturally I had no clue what the fuck that meant. Turns out the guy donated his mom's ashes, so he left his number in case we found it. The whole back room went on a hunt because it had turned into this competition on who would find his mom first. We found her, phoned him, and he came and picked her up. We thought that was the last of him, until we were processing some donations a few months later and found his mom again. We phoned him because we still his contact information. His only reply was, "God damn it." He came and got her and we never heard from him after that. I worked for a non-profit for seniors that had a charity shop in it. People often just dropped off boxes of stuff they found in their parents' attic. One box had a bunch of letters. Some of them were from World War II, when the man was stationed at Camp Carson in Colorado, and one of them must have been something they were keeping from an older generation. It was a 1914 letter proposing marriage. It was so romantic. He fell in love with her when they went ice skating together. He included an advertisement for some houses they could buy. They were really nice houses, selling for about $1,500. I found a hidden WW1 photo. Got in a crappy picture showing the different knots. It was a seaside town I was working in at the time, so I put the picture out cheap. Few days later it fell off the wall and the frame broke, so I brought it to the back to check it out. Found a big military group photo hidden behind. No idea why it was hidden. Here's the picture. https://musurimager.com/a/col3xb. Edit. I've managed to post a clearer picture on my profile. https://mediocre_sprinkles/comment/jb3290/the_ww1_picture/UTM_medium equals Android_app and UTM_source equals share. Coworker found a live hand grenade. Bomb squad was called. Be careful when you donate grandpa's shit. People. I found $125 in the front pocket of a kid's coat. Had to be like a 3 to 4 Y. Oh, next day I found more money in another jacket. Back in the 90s my mom would buy those blank VHS tapes to record on, and sometimes the Goodwill had some that already had stuff recorded on them, but we would just record over them. I remember one that had a bunch of Simpsons episodes, but on some of them there was porn. A lot of porn. A few years ago, when there was an earthquake in Mexico City, many people were donating old clothes and stuff for people who are now homeless. I found a pair of pants that were as tall as me, and each leg could fit me inside of it. Edit. I don't live anywhere near Mexico City, but I was helping with the donations. I would have included a picture, but sadly, dumbass me decided those were not important, and I think I deleted them a few months ago. Here are some other things I found. A literal goddamn baby-size suit. A single glove the size of my head. A shirt made of what seemed to be the same fabric that my couch has. And a pair of red overalls that were around the same size as the pants, although they were not as big. Worked at a Value Village a long time ago, and a coworker found cremated ashes. They were in a box that had the funeral home info on it, so our manager contacted them about it. Love letters between two people from the late 1800s. Multiple suicide letters and one suicide tape. And many diaries. One diary specifically was written by a gay man going to med school in the 70s in San Fran. It spans 10 years and has a first-person account of his feelings the day Harvey Milk was assassinated. Edit. Wow, I posted this right before I fell asleep last night and woke up to tons of messages. I used to process donations at this thrift store, so I was seeing everything first. A lot of times when people die, their family members will drop everything off. So we have to sort through and figure out what we can and cannot sell. Personal things like letters and diaries can't be sold, but at the same time they seem so special it's hard to throw them away. When I quit that job, I took a giant box of all this personal memorabilia with me and had a bonfire, where I read every single letter, note, diary, and then burned them. This year I burned everything, except the diary, letters, and suicide tape I mentioned. I have those all sitting in a drawer in my closet. I still sit down and read them sometimes. Another edit. The suicide tape was so disturbing I actually separated the tape from the tape recorder so I couldn't easily play it anymore. It was an hour-long recording of a father saying goodbye to his 3 sons. I wonder how that tape even got donated in the first place. Like, was it an accident? Did the son it was given to die as well and then whoever was donating didn't know what it was? Or did he never actually commit suicide, and over the years he forgot about it, leaving it to get mixed in with his other stuff that eventually got donated? Not me, but my aunt, one of the few surviving Enigma machines. The owner passed away and his family dropped it off with a box of newspapers and some memorabilia from the war, etc. My aunt, being a history nut, figured out what it was, got it appraised, worth almost £100,000, and looked for the family for 5 months before being able to return it to them. This year she didn't have a heart to take it under false pretenses. A sword used by a Japanese officer in World War II, a suitcase full of adult toys, a coin collection worth nearly $2,000 accidentally left in a cupboard that was donated, a photo album of someone's wedding was donated amongst the belongings of the pastor that married the couple after he passed. The bride happened to be someone I went to school with. I tend to sort books at my store, so I've found a few odd things in there. Cash's bookmarks, about $150. A book with carved pages to conceal some jewels and gemstones. A few first edition books on agriculture from the 1800s. Lots of handwritten recipes. Personal letters, and my favorite, a letter sent in the last mail delivery from Hong Kong before the British returned it to China. Affixed with every stamp available at the time and mint versions of each of the stamps enclosed. I used to sweep the parking lot of a Goodwill and they would toss very interesting stuff in the dumpster. Hundreds of books, like really expensive ones. Leather-bound sets of classical works from the 1920s. Early prints of sci-fi novels. I found a nice collectible copy of Dune recently. Family Bible stacked thick with memories. Food dehydrators. Paintings. Collectible sports memorabilia. Super valuable vintage tools and fixtures. Most of it is just stuff that nobody bothered checking the value on before chucking it out. And it's really sad. I found a destroyed collection of old Spalding baseball bats, the oldest being from the 30s. They were left in the dumpster in standing water for days. At least it's sad to see things like that go. Maybe because at one point someone loved them very much, and someone else decided that all the care it took to collect these treasures was a waste. A dead bat, a switchblade, a pocket watch painted with radium, and an 18th century wolf trap. Edit. I almost forgot a late 1800s book on phrenology. I had a mate who worked in one of the bigger Lifeline stores in Australia. A woman came into the store with 5 large clear plastic storage boxes and asked to donate. The monsieur, he looked inside of the boxes and it was thousands of beautifully hand-painted Warhammer pieces. He was shocked and asked her why. They were her son's and she couldn't keep them in the house anymore since his death. My friend said he couldn't accept the donation. He said the whole collection was worth a lot of money. She had no idea. He asked her for all her details and asked if he could try to sell it for her. She agreed. After his shift, he went home and took photos of everything and posted it online in an Australian Warhammer forum. Monsieur, within a couple of weeks everything was sold. He called her and she met him at the store. He told her he had sold it to collectors all around Australia who loved her son's work. He handed her roughly $12,000. She cried. He cried. She offered him half. He said no. She told him she would donate his half to a suicide charity in her son's name and his name. He said it was the best thing he had ever done in his life. Not me, but an acquaintance from high school found a live hamster came with a little cage and all. So, I worked for a charity. We picked up old clothes etc. and sold them in bulk to a thrift chain. When we unloaded the truck, it was common to toss the store employees the bags, and they would catch them before stacking them on racks. Well, one time some idiot put a big chef's knife in a bag of clothes. The store employee caught the garbage bag of clothes, wrapped his arms around it as he caught it, and proceeded to stab himself in the arm. Monsieur. After that, the policies were changed. We had to put the bags at the edge of the truck for them to take off, because our insurance didn't cover us off the truck, and theirs didn't cover them in it. Great big plastic shopping bag full of cooked spaghetti. No sauce. Probably like 5 kilograms or so. Not me, but a friend's mom found a designer handbag full of vomit and a backpack full of shit. I work at a thrift store as a donation handler. Gnarliest thing I had seen was a literal stack of mattresses left overnight during off hours. They were disgusting, crawling with bugs and riddled in stains of various shades and hues. Nope, had the fuck out of that. Called my manager and they brought a forklift out to take them to the trash compactor. Just the other day we had a donor drop off a small crate. Like a milk crate kind of thing. Chock full of hentai. Just today I found a small marble one-hitter pipe at the bottom of the donation bin. I was examining an old manual typewriter someone donated. It had a vinyl carrying case with a zipper pocket on the inside. I opened it and found a manual, the original receipt, and an envelope of Polaroid pictures. The pictures were of several women in lingerie or semi-nude. All looked like they were in their 60s to 70s. At the bottom of the Polaroid was a name and date, covering about a 10-year span. One of the nicer things I came across working that job. Better than dealing with the dirty underwear we got on the regular.